What's up, everybody? Welcome to my first video of Ben Allen Athletics. Just let you guys know that name could change in the future. I don't know. I just kind of put that together. Shout out to my boy Zeke Green for the design. So in this first video, I'm going to be talking about how I became a professional runner. I first want to say I'm not getting paid by a sponsor or anything like that, so you can consider me a semi-professional runner. So I'm just going to be talking about how I became a semi-professional runner and joined Empire Elite, and yeah, I'll just start back in college. So my senior year, I knew I wanted to run in college, but I didn't have like the fastest PRs compared to other guys going on from college to run post-collegiately. So I decided, I really need to run fast. My coach and I really trying to focus on running the paces and workouts to be able to be comfortable in races. So my senior year, or my fifth year of college, it's COVID year, so there's not a lot of opportunities to race. So that kind of made things a lot harder for me. I didn't have cross country, I didn't have indoor. There wasn't really a cross country season anyway for most colleges, but there was an indoor season. I had to train through indoor, and outdoor is when we really started to focus on finding teams and looking at teams. I remember before my first meet, my coach and I got together and we just kind of sat and looked at different teams that could be a good fit. We came across, Atlanta Track Hub, Empire Elite. Or we didn't see Empire Elite, we saw Hoka. That was a team before it became Empire Elite. And then we saw Tin Man, other teams. So, and there was Minnesota Elite Distance, which was another choice that I almost went to as well. So we got a lot of information from that meeting, but the main thing we needed to focus on was just running fast. So after that, we start racing. I finally start racing again. The main thing when I start racing, it was just to get that competitive feeling again, because I haven't raced since the past year. So focus on racing, and then let's start trying to focus on times. I ended up not being able to run in fast heats. Drag relays was separated this year, so there was no fast heat of the 1500 for Division II really. They had the university heat, which was 3:38. That was winning time, but for the time for the college heat, like Division II and Division III heat, we only ran like low 350, I believe. So there was a big time difference, and just being in the heat like the Division I heat could push some of us other athletes who are capable of running faster. So we didn't get that opportunity, and the weather wasn't that good for us because we were racing really early in the morning where it was cold, windy. I sound like I'm giving a lot of excuses right now. That's drag relays. We go on to trials of miles meet, and my coach and I are still kind of looking at teams right now, but we don't really know. So I race at the trials of the miles meet. I don't end up running fast. This meet was very windy as well, and nobody went with the pacer, like I said in that video. So of tab running, if you guys are coming from tab running, you see the trials of miles meet. It was a very weird race. No one went with the pacer, and I ended up running like 3:49 or something. And after the meet, or during the meet, we noticed a team called Empire Elite, and we're like, what is this team? They got a couple mid-distance guys that are pretty quick. We saw a guy in the 800 ran, it was like 148 or 149, I believe, and we're like, oh, he's pretty fast, and that turns out to be my roommate now, Luciano Fiore. So it's kind of goes full circle there. And then we saw Eric Holt, who won the 1500. We watched his interview on our way home after my race, and we're like, he's talking about like Empire Elite and how it's an up and coming team. If I can find the video, I'll put up a little short clip of that.
Yeah, man, you really killed it. You killed it today.
I love the pride that you have for your team and your teammates. Can you tell us a little bit more about Empire Elite? I know you guys are a new club.
Oh, I'd love to. We're a small club. We're new, but we have two of the best coaches. John Trotman, who made the Olympics in '92. And, of course, you can't forget Tom Nohilly, who was a stud back in the time. So I'm just surrounded by excellence, and we're small, but everyone out there is tenacious and very hungry and ready to get it, and it's contagious. And that's what happens.
You're out some big names right now, some big times. Do y'all have a sponsor? And what? Tell the people right now, y'all need Aspire Empire Elite.
Oh, absolutely. Wait till this trials, man. I think it's gonna be a big surprise. Empire Elite. It's gonna be one of the biggest clubs out there. So.
So my coach and I are like, yeah, this is a good team. This could be potentially a good team. So we keep an eye on the team, but we look up the team. We see some great athletes, and we realize that Empire Elite is basically the Hoka and JNY team separated. So it's like part of the team from Hoka's came to Empire Elite, which is a group started by John Trotman and Tom Nohilly. They were coaching with Coach Gags on the Hoka team, and they started their own team. I don't know the full reason behind it, but they decided to start their own team, which is now Empire Elite, and some of the Hoka athletes are on that team right now to this day. So anyway, we after that meet, we're like, we'll look into it, but let's focus on running fast. We still need to run fast. I haven't ran a time to qualify for nationals yet, so I end up running the 3:45 in Mankato, and just barely squeaking in nationals. And the week before the national meet, my coach and I learned a little bit more about the team, about the coaches, and then asked my coach if he's able to reach out to Tom Trotman or Tom Nohilly in any way, because I wasn't really sure how to go about approaching them. So my coach was able to reach out to John Trotman on LinkedIn, and I guess they had mutual connections. So that's the way that he got in contact with him, and they ended up having a phone call after a couple messages talking about, hey, I have an athlete who's looking to run after college. Here's his PRs. He's hardworking. Blah blah blah. So I guess the conversation went well. Shout out to my college coach Jonathan Breitbarth for doing that. So after that, John Trotman seemed like he was interested. So we stayed in contact. My coach stayed in contact. I eventually got his number, but I didn't reach out to him. My college coach, Jonathan Breitbarth, did not want me to really message him until at the national meet. So focus on the national meet. I ended up getting second just by like a hair. So after the race, I ended up messaging John Trotman about the race, and I was really surprised because he actually was able to see the results. I didn't expect him to be looking at the results, so it was kind of like, oh wow, he actually kind of cares about how I run, and it's like, even though I don't have the fastest time, he still like sees like there's a potential there. So after that, I have a phone call with him, and he says he's going to be at the Music City Distance Carnival, and that's where I raced the 1500, and I got like second again, where we didn't have a pacer or anything like that. So I got to see Luciano running the 800 and Eric Holt. They both ran the 800. They ran 147, 148, and then Danny actually ran Danny Aragon. She beat Jenny Simpson in the 1500, so that was really cool. I'm like, okay, this team is pretty legit. And I have a conversation with the coaches after the race. My coach talks to their coach as well, and we're like, okay, like if you wanna, before you commit to the team, you should come out and visit. That's what the main. That was like the common theme that I was getting. So I ended up making a trip out and visit the team. The thing is that half the team was racing. This was after the Olympics, so people were coming up on the end of their season, and some athletes were still racing, throughout the summer. So some of the athletes weren't there. I went on a run with Isaac Updike and Danny Aragon, and I only stayed there for about a couple days, and I learned a little bit more about the team, and had dinner with Eric Holt and the coaches. We talked, and before I left, Coach Trotman was just like, take 3 to 4 weeks, think about the decision before coming out, and we'll stay in contact just because it's a big move from Minnesota all the way to New York. So I take about a month. I look at some other options, Minnesota Elite. That's like a very convenient option for me just because it's in Minnesota, and they're a solid team. They're a very solid team. They have some great athletes on there and some, a good miler as well. So I think about that. I visit their team, and then I eventually write out pros and cons of their team, a couple other teams, and just kind of think about what's best for me. I have some conversation with coaches, friends, just to see what they think, and I end up making the decision. Okay, I want to make the move to New York and join Empire Elite, and I contacted the coach, and they were happy to have me. So now I'm here. It's really very funny because if you asked me last year where I'd be, I had no clue. I was still kind of contemplating if I wanted to run still, if I was fast enough to even make a team, if I was going to be working in a different job or something like that. So I don't really regret any decisions right now, and it's been really fun, just kind of pursuing the dream. So yeah, that's the story. I eventually want to make a video talking about the differences between college and post-collegiately, so stay tuned for that. This is my new channel, so I hope you guys will enjoy this content. I really want to just push out more of a personal channel where I just vlog training videos, workouts, races, and then yeah, just kind of focus on those kind of things. I don't know, I'm still kind of in the air of what I want this channel to look like, but I really want it to be focused on my training. Stay tuned for the other videos coming up. I hope to upload a workout. Yeah, a workout on Friday, so stay tuned for that as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.